Florida is home to huge cities such as Miami and Orlando where tourists flock. But it is also home to huge natural areas, places where civilization has still yet to touch. Here, wildlife roams free. And, if you believe the stories, there are other things that stalk the forests out here. Spanning 37,000 acres, Myakka River State Park is one of the state's largest and oldest parks, with planning beginning in the 1920s. The land was eventually purchased and donated in the following decade, and in 1942 the park opened to the public. While it is not clear when the stories of hauntings began, in the year 2000, 2 anonymous photos sent to the sheriff's office would change Myakka State Park forever. Coming from Sarasota to the park, you must drive 8 miles down State Road 72, which will prepare you for just how vast the park is. While there are a number of other trails, the main entrance to the park leads us to the areas we want to visit. The main road winds its way to and past Myakka Lake, and there are numerous spots to stop along the way. The first place we are visiting is the Canopy Walk and Observation Tower. Just a short walk off the main road, this is one of the most popular spots for visitors to come. The Canopy Walk suspension bridge stands 25 feet above the ground floor and is 100 feet long. We now head to the top of the tower, which stands 74 feet and was modeled after towers used by scientists in South America to provide a beautiful view of the surrounding area. So it's probably hard to tell. This whole thing is shaking right now from people walking downstairs. But heights isn't the only thing to fear up here. Legend has it that the Canopy Walk was a popular spot to commit suicide in the 1950s, and many enlisted men came here to avoid being shipped over to Vietnam. Visitors today say that even in the daytime they will be walking the stairs and see what looks to be just another visitor ahead of them, sometimes as an adult, frequently as a child. Looking like a normal flesh and blood human, they are shocked when rounding the next corner, the person has completely vanished. Other times, the ghosts are spotted on the trails, startling hikers when they suddenly leave the trail, walking right through the surrounding trees and vanishing into thin air. But deaths are not relegated to only this area. As a reminder, this is alligator country, and the beasts can be seen throughout the park lounging on the riverbanks. In particular, they gather around a large pond off the river, aptly named Deep Hole. At 135 feet deep, this karst sinkhole is almost as deep as 2 of the towers. This is the Big Flats Campground. One of 3 camps spread throughout the park, Big Flats has something that makes it stand out from the rest. It has a ghost, and he has no head. During the off-season, the campground is rarely filled, and it is not even open during the weekdays. It has also been closed off during our visit due to flooding, so we have the entire site to ourselves, which is perfect, because the off-season is when the ghost is said to be most active, in particular, the month of July. During the daytime, the ghost is said to be heard up in the trees, and will throw things down at people. At nighttime, he will move things around your campsite, and he can be heard crying. Those that see him say he is often spotted walking around in a circle, as if looking for his missing head. Alright, so I wasn't going to do an EVP out here, except for now I have this whole place to myself. So I can't really let that go to waste. Because if anything is out here, this would be the best time that probably wants to talk. So, we're going to do an EVP. If there is any phantom or a headless ghost or anything out here doesn't want to communicate, you can talk into this recorder right here. Are you truly missing your head? How did you lose your head if you lost your head? Do you throw things at campers out here? With the ghost deciding not to communicate, we can only speculate who he might be. Rumor has it that homeless people will stay in the park overnight, looking for a safe place to be left alone. Rumor also states that several of these people have died at the park. Perhaps one slept too close to the shore and his head became dinner for a hungry alligator? We're now heading deeper into the Myakka woods. It is here that the park's most famous legend is said to live, the Skunkape.
On the heels of a video released earlier this week coming out of Indonesia that may be proof of the elusive Bigfoot, SNN took a visit to Myakka State Park to explore the creature that may be right in our own backyards.
We are in this area right here.
Ree Monteith is an investigator with the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. She explains there have been numerous sightings of what may or may not be Bigfoot in Myakka State Park.
Some people who are camping or hiking, sometimes they hear strange noises that they can't explain what they are. I get a lot of witnesses that will even say, look, I'll tell you what I saw, and I'm not sure what I saw because I don't know what it was, but I can't identify it. It wasn't a human, it wasn't a bear, it wasn't a panther, but it best fits the description of what we call a skunk ape or a Bigfoot.
So why Myakka? According to Ree, these creatures inhabit heavily forested, remote areas and near water, and that describes Myakka perfectly. The BFRO has received over 55,000 reports from across the country since 1995. Not all are credible, but even with so many sightings, no one should feel the need to be in any danger.
And we don't have any reports of them ever hurting anybody. The worst things is if you're in an area, somebody might get rocks thrown at them, but a Sasquatch has never hurt anybody. We have no report of that.
The next time you're around Myakka, keep an eye out. You never know what you might see.
While skunk ape sightings are spread across Florida and surrounding states, Myakka River became one of the go-to spots after 2 anonymous photos were sent to law enforcement in 2000. In a letter attached with the pictures, it is said they were taken earlier that year near the state park in the backyard of an elderly citizen. They stated that for the past few nights, something had been taking apples off their back porch. That night, hearing a noise, she went out back and snapped the first photo. It is then that the creature rose, startling the woman who had no idea it was so close. She snapped a second photo as it walked off into the brush. By January the following year, the photographs were being passed around the Sarasota Sheriff's Department as a joke. However, eventually someone in the Animal Control Division reached out to wildlife enthusiast and business owner David Barkasy. It is David, along with cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman, whose belief that these photos may be genuine got the sheriff's office to open a case file on the subject. The photos now became an online sensation and got many forums discussing them. Barkasy traced the photos back to a Sarasota processing lab and was able to determine that they were taken in August 2000 and processed in December. Now, I won't go into depth here. I will leave that to the experts who have analyzed these photos. But to summarize, the creature in question is believed to not be a model or statue due to the different stances between the photos. The letter has more suspicion about it, due to the way it insists it is an orangutan, as well as the discrepancy between August and December. If they were so worried about a loose creature, why wait for 4 months? The appearance of the creature does match with the skunk ape, a creature whose first sighting dates back to 1818. The letter also denotes of a foul stench, which is a common description attached to the sightings. 2 photos are good, but what about a video? In July of 2000, self-proclaimed skunk ape expert Dave Shealy recorded this video of the creature walking through swampland near Myakka. Then, in 2013, Michael Falconer and his son were driving along the park road when they saw a group of people pulled over. Animal sightings are common, but the pair were surprised to see not a deer, but something much bigger.
There's two of them. There he is. Camera because I can zoom in. And let's run, okay?
Both of these videos show the creature far away from the main road. If we want to see anything, we're going to have to head deep into the Myakka woods. I hiked for a good 45 minutes into the swamp. While certainly not a skunk ape, finding this rooted in ground proved that we were heading to where there were more animals and less man. Okay, so we've just hiked out pretty far out into the woods. And after the deer incident, I figure I'm done. I'm not going any further. So the way they say you can communicate with a skunk ape is by hitting a log against a tree. So we're gonna try and see if we hear anything. Do it one more time. Well, I don't know about any skunk apes, but I know that I'm sure I pissed off a couple of birds and other little things. So too, like the headless ghost, the skunk ape wasn't feeling social either. Or maybe he just wasn't there. Let's go back to the 3 pieces of evidence I have discussed, as there are a few points about each I didn't share. Shealy's video was released coincidentally the same time he applied for a research grant. A bit of publicity certainly would be good for your application. The photos that came out just after are believed to be someone in a suit, albeit one that is professionally made by someone familiar with primates and the cryptozoological lore of the skunk ape. The 2013 footage also has a story. Hearing about the group gathered, park rangers went out to investigate. Reportedly, they found a young man in an ape suit. As for the ghost stories, the rangers have explanations for that as well. A campground in the woods is bound to have noises. Branches fall on their own all the time, and an animal could certainly move belongings left outside. What about the tower? We've seen how easy a death could occur out there. While that is true, there's only one problem with the legend. Work on the tower didn't begin until 1999, long after the Vietnam War was finished. But let's not dismiss everything just yet. The explanations for the skunk apes certainly are plausible, but they aren't fact. While the park may only take up 37,000 acres, the actual size of the preserve is an enormous 2.2 million acres, most of which is inaccessible to humans. Who can say for sure just what is lurking out in the Myakka forest?